Lads, Paul George has spoken out about the Caitlin Clark effect on the WNBA. So let's see what he has said.
You got to put it in perspective, right? These girls have been grinding to grow the game of basketball in the WNBA. They've been grinding to grow the sport to the world, the viewerships. They've been grinding for all of this. And then you have this girl that comes along from college and is an instant change. She's handed pretty much being the face of the league.
No, she's the face of the league. Not pretty much the face of the league. She is the face of the league.
There's going to be girls that are offended by that. And there's going to be girls that think she's got to earn it and she doesn't deserve this.
She earned the face of the league. I stand by this. She earned the face of the league when 3 million people watch her play and 200,000 watch other players play.
This early. She's handled it great. I think she's performed last year. She's performing again this year. I think she's the rightful face of the NBA, up there with A'ja Wilson, with Nafisa, with...
Oh, he mentioned Fee. Someone actually mentioned Fee. I'm shocked. Somebody actually mentioned Fee. And not A'ja Wilson or Angel Reese or who knows who they're going to mention.
Still some of the legends, Breanna Steward, Kelsey Plum, the new up-and-coming rising star, Bunky, Paige Bueckers.
I love how Paige Bueckers is older than Caitlin Clark, and they're talking about... They talk about Caitlin like she's a vet, and they talk about Paige like she's this super young player, and she's actually older than Caitlin.
Not only is her game talking but she's out there talking like she's backing it up.
I love Caitlin Clark personality, man.
I love her too, man. I think she's great for the game of basketball in general, bro.
And come on, podcast, Pete.
She probably will. Oh, Jesus. That was maybe the worst voice crack I've had on this channel. Sorry, I need to turn on the L. It's very, very warm in here. So we're going to turn on the fan a little bit, so I do apologize. But it is crazy when it comes to Caitlin. It's like every league, every single person that's not directly involved in the WNBA, even people adjacently involved in the WNBA, involved in basketball, anyone involved in EuroLeague overseas, anyone involved in any ball, is pro Caitlin Clark, sees what Caitlin Clark is doing. And if you are, for example, in any level of women's basketball overseas, you're probably looking and you're like, okay, Caitlin Clark is probably making me a little bit of extra money because there's at least 20% more fans in every single women's basketball league because of Caitlin Clark. So Caitlin's earning me more money. And that is one of the funny things. Everyone in the vicinity of Caitlin Clark is pro Caitlin Clark, except for her colleagues in the league. And not even her colleagues in the league. Unhinged people on Twitter. And unhinged people on Twitter who for some reason have power in the league. That's the crazy thing about this. People are like, oh, why do I keep making videos about it? I'm like, literally. The only reason I make videos about it is that these people are actually working in and around the league. But it is... You've seen that from Paul George. Paul George talking about the WNBA and even giving a shout out to the other players. How much often would Paul George have talked about the WNBA? And you can see even people making really dumb takes online. Colin Cowherd. Colin Cowherd has only ever talked about the WNBA to shit on the WNBA in the past. Colin Cowherd's even talking and saying that even making dumb takes, saying Paige Bueckers is a better pure scorer than Caitlin Clark. Paige Bueckers doesn't look at the basket. Paige Bueckers doesn't shoot threes or layups. But, yeah, it is a really interesting thing. And it's it is such a big and positive thing for the WNBA. And the only people that don't seem to, not only don't seem to care, that don't seem to want it, are the WNBA. You got the NBA, you got the NWSL, you got all these players super hyped about it. And everyone is hyped except the WNBA. Paige, the 3-level scorer, as long as layups and threes aren't 3 of those levels. As long as layups and threes aren't those levels, she's a 3-level scorer, I guess. She is a pull-up mid-range shooter. She doesn't take layups. She shot 1 3-pointer in 8 quarters of basketball at one stage. But, yeah, it's these WNBA players are jealous because more people watch or talking about Caitlin Clark than them. These NBA players, the ironic thing is that Caitlin Clark is getting more hype than most NBA players. Most NBA players, Caitlin Clark gets more hype than. However, that does not seem to matter to them. They're cool with it. They are cool with Caitlin Clark getting more hype because they see it. They know they know what it is. They're fine with it. They're a bit more secure in their hype because, to be fair, they're probably saying they're living reality. It's probably very different when you're making $50 million a year, or when you're Paul George and you're on maybe the worst contract in the history of the sport of basketball. But yeah, that's just my opinion on this. I think all around it's an interesting situation. And the WNBA aren't doing a good job of it. I think they're not doing a great job of it. And it's just something that won't ever change. I thought this type of stuff was going to get better coming into this year. We have the Aces booing De'Erica Hamby's kid. We have fake investigations. We have all of this stuff. Nothing's ever going to change when it comes to this league. It is what it is. That's the only thing I can say about this league is you get what you get when it comes to the WNBA. You get what you get. I wish it wasn't the case. I wish it was a little bit different. But you're going to get what you're going to get. Nothing's going to change. Caitlin could solve world hunger, and they would say, what about the people that liked, or she could solve homelessness, and they would complain that some people liked living on the streets. Like, it's that crazy thing. But anyway, yeah. That is it. That's it.